Hello everybody and welcome to our next installment for the live Q&A series with our Twin Flame Ascension School students. Today we're going to interview the lovely Sama and hear some of her tips and tricks, some of her amazing story. And her story is outlined in Jeff and Shaleia's book, Twin Flames Finding the Ultimate Lover, Chapter 10, so you don't want to miss this. There's a lot of juice here. So I'm just actually, because we're already ready, I'm just going to have her come right on. So Sama, here, let me bring you on camera. I can't wait to talk to Sama because she's definitely an inspiration in my twin flame journey. And she has a lot of beautiful, so much knowledge to share with us. There she is. Hi, Sama.
Hello.
It's nice to have you on for our interview. I'm really happy to be talking to you and to share you. I feel like a proud mom to like share you to the world. I'm, I mean, definitely Jeff and Shaleia did that already, but we're just going to go a little bit deeper in that because you have a really important message to share. And you went from everybody, stay tuned because you want to know how Sama went from zero contact with her twin flame to union so quickly. And it was some really major realizations that she had, and she's going to share them with you today. So stay tuned and watch all the way through so you can learn from her experience. And it can be easy. So, welcome everybody. My name's Stephanie again, and this is Sama Amlashi. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, Amlashi.
Okay, and very good. How long have you been in TFAS, by the way?
Since I think it was July 2017, so a year and a few months.
Cool, very good. And it shows. So, I wanted to ask you, just go directly into kind of, and this is what I ask everybody, but what are some of the themes of the blocks that you've been working through in your union and in your life as you've been going along and healing?
So, for me, unworthiness was always a big one. It was one of the first mirror exercises I did. Unworthiness just popped straight up. And that I've been just healing layers and layers of that all the way throughout my journey, and even to this day, layers of it still come up and I still heal it. But it's definitely something that has been a theme for um, my healing. Um, Fear of commitment, that's been another one. And it showed throughout my life where I felt like I couldn't commit to anything, but in truth, I was always committed to God. I was always committed to my spirit work. But this fear kept me um, dancing around, going from one thing to another, just constantly trying to find my place. When I came to TFAS, I realized that in truth, I was always committed. But that's just been a theme
Amen.
that I've been working through. Yeah.
Totally. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you went from when you first started TFAS? Like, can you share a little bit about that and what your journey has been like?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I joined TFAS, I didn't know who my twin was. I had spent 3 years prior on a twin flame journey, consciously trying to manifest my twin flame. And but I always had that kind of that block that said, this is so sacred that you've got to do this on your own. You can't ask for help here. You're not allowed to, if you ask for support and if you go to someone to get help on your journey, that means you're not gonna lead. That fear-based pattern that was in my mind. And so I had been wanting support and clearly desiring it, but I never allowed myself to go there and receive it. Until I listened to one of Shaleia's card readings, and she had said, it's okay to ask for help. And then suddenly everything shifted for me, and it opened me up to allow myself to receive. And that's when I immediately joined TFAS. It on, I think it was my second class, Jeff and Shaleia spent so much time with me clearing my blocks and helping me to call in my true twin flame. And then 2 days later, I met him, and it was just to me this was a huge miracle. I mean, to anyone, but because I had been working on it so consciously for so long, and I had just almost given up hope, but not really. I was, I guess, in a sense, unattached to it by that time, and just thought I would try anything right now. And then Jeff and Shaleia came and loved me there, and helped me to clear blocks and call him in, and it was just yeah, I will forever be grateful for that. Yeah.
Beautiful. So after you called him in, you knew exactly who he was, right?
Oh no, no, no. I saw this person from across the room, and I didn't even know that this was my twin flame. There were so many little synchronicities that led me there. I don't know, 11:11s, and so many things that pointed me to going to this event on this day. And I knew that there is a chance of me meeting my twin here, but uh, as soon as I walked in and I saw him, I just kind of thought, no, not him. And it was just because I was so blocked to seeing myself at that time that even though I wasn't able to recognize it. And so I went home carrying on like, okay, I'm still going to meet my twin. And a few days later, Jeff pointed out that I'd already met him, and the healing begun even deeper, and mirroring why I had missed my own meeting, and this moment that I had built up in my mind for so long to be such a special like aha moment of seeing your true love from across the room. I felt like I'd missed that, and that brought up a lot of upsets for me. And but then when I healed them, and just took a moment in gratitude and just thought, wow, this huge impossible task that I had thought it was of meeting my twin flame has finally happened. Even if I don't know who it is, I've met him. And that's okay. I'm good with that right now. I'm just so grateful to have finally met him. As soon as I did that, he floated into my consciousness, and it was like, hey, it's him. Uh, and that's when I commented on the post that Jeff had put up saying, have you met, who is it? Who's your twin? And I said, I think I know who it is. And the next day we had a class, and again, Jeff and Shaleia helped me clear the blocks. And by the end of class, I knew who my twin was. And that posed a whole new like range of upsets because I had no way of contacting him. I didn't know his name. I literally, we hadn't even spoken. I had just seen him from across the room, and that was it. Or it was just I had no idea. There was nothing I could do to get his number. I went back following weeks and he never showed up. And Jeff told me, now it's your responsibility to kind of prove our work, to prove that this works, because you are not going to manifest him until you clear the blocks. You're not going to bring him back into your life until you do the mirror exercise and clear the blocks. So that was the journey that I set out on to just clear everything. And the more I cleared, the more he came into my life. Began with like little breadcrumbs of just having him pop up in the background of pictures on Instagram in the most random ways. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's him. And he always stood out because he was wearing white, so I always knew who he was, and it was pictures from that same event. And every block I cleared, he would just pop up until I found him on Facebook by divine guidance, and it all just everything just fell into place. I never had to do anything from a place of control. It was always inspired action, and it was always God.
Amen. Amen. Khan Denzier says, very brave of you. And in truth, we're all brave. You're all brave. Everyone watching is also brave. And you can let go and surrender control and allow God to run this entire, that's what this is. This isn't something we can control and get. Like, and Sama's explaining this perfectly on how that's how she aligned with her union, is clearing the blocks to it, right? And then taking guided action. So that's actually the perfect, and this is what a lot of people I see are struggling with in the forum, and they're commenting about is, kind of exactly what you asked, what you were sharing within your story. But it leads me perfectly into the next part, which is, can you share some aha moments that you've had along your journey that really skyrocketed you up to the next level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There are so many.
Yeah.
I guess the first one was that, I mean, there are so many people on this journey who, on a spiritual journey, who believe that it's got to be hard,
Mm,
and it all comes from that place of work hard, get results,
mm,
work hard, get paid, whatever it is. It's that mindset that we have to struggle in order to earn what it is that we desire. But um, there was a moment where I received a report from Jeff, and he said, just let it be easy. Your resistance is what makes it difficult. It's your resistance to this flow that makes it hard,
mm,
makes you experience the illusion of life is hard, of your spiritual journey is hard, of anything is hard for you. Um, just if it's hard, and you're finding yourself in a place of constantly feeling drained and just running on a hamster wheel, in a way, you're spinning your wheels, you're not really doing anything. Just let it be easy. And when that sunk in for me, and I just thought, I can choose. I've got the power of choice, and my choice is really powerful. I can choose for it to be easy. I can choose for it to. I can choose for God to do it for me. I don't need to exert any of my own energy to do this, because my power
mm,
comes from source, and there's an abundance of it. So that was my main, like one of my main aha moments. And another one was about God. And I had always been, I started off in childhood with a very, very strong connection with God. And then as I, went into adolescence, I began to become a little bit agnostic. And at one point I was even atheist. And then at one point I was just like, the universe. And I refused to even use the word God, because it was, so I was, in a way, I was blocked against religion. And I didn't agree with the dogma that came with the word God. So I
mm,
tried to distance myself from that. But so I would always see God as the universe and this, or my higher self, and this uh, omnipresent being who is floating around and, taking care of everything.
mm,
But my breakthrough moment was to begin seeing God as an individual,
mm,
and knowing that God created individuals. We are individuals with consciousness. And so how can the creator not be individual too? He is all, right? God is all. So why can't God also be having an intimate and individual personal relationship with the individuals he created? And that was a huge breakthrough for me, because I realized that this whole journey, my entire life, has led me to this moment of being led home to my creator, to being led home to source, and noticing that this whole journey has been about getting me to turn within and see that the one who has always loved me, I have been neglecting him. The I have been that wounded inner child, or that inner child that is asking for love, is God. God
yeah.
is the one who's been asking for my love, and I've been the one who's been like, oh no, like this, I don't know, this dream job and dream house and dream man, and I don't know, whatever it is that you're desiring. I've always been kind of looking outside of myself and wanting the gifts that God brings, but not God himself. And it took that turning point of me realizing, I want to begin loving God unconditionally the way that I've been loved my entire life and had been taking it for granted. And I wanted to love God for who God is and not what God gives me. For once in my life, I didn't want anything it was the first time in my life I didn't want anything from God because I just wanted to love God. It was fulfilling to do that. And in loving God, I was loving myself. And it was so fulfilling to do that I just, it was enough. It was so enough for me because there was this whole relationship here waiting to be nurtured. And I just set my intention to get to know my creator, get to know this beautiful relationship that is within, waiting to be nurtured. I decided to start nurturing it.
Amen.
And that, yeah, just kind
Stunning.
of went off on one.
No, it was needed, and I noticed a lot of people were commenting and sharing the sentiment. And I think you definitely delivered such a beautiful gift that everyone really needed to hear right now. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Do you have, so these are amazing aha moments. Do you have any tips and tricks with the spiritual work and how you've kind of brought it into and really embodied it in your lifestyle and in your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the mirror exercise changed my entire life. I mean, if anyone watching this and you haven't heard of mirror exercise, get the book, learn the mirror exercise because it's going to change your life. Like, I started seeing results from the very first mirror exercise I did. And it's not to say, outward results were there, but the results that mattered were me feeling better in that place that felt like crap before. You know, it was I I'm not gonna lie, the first few mirror exercises, the first, I don't know, week or so, it was very difficult for me. I felt like I didn't want to go within. I didn't want to the mirror and look at myself. I wanted to keep blaming, the external reality of whatever I didn't want to accept that I was creating this. But then when I just, dropped that and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna love myself. It's calling for love. The reason I'm upset is because this part of me is calling for love. So I just started to I got a notebook on my phone because I'm one of those people I use my phone a lot for work and everything, and so I don't carry around a paper notebook. So I downloaded a notebook app on my phone and just made a section for a folder for mirror exercise. And anytime I would be upset, I'd just take out my phone, go into that notebook, and just write out the 4 steps. That's how I started. Just 4 steps: 1, 2, 3, 4, love myself, I feel better, get on with my day. And that helped me so much because I didn't have to, I don't know, if I was out, I didn't have to wait until I come back home to sit down and do my spiritual work. I would take it with me, I would do it wherever I was, because it doesn't require you to, I don't know, sit down, light candles. I mean, it's perfectly fine if you need to do that, but it's not a necessity. And obviously, if you're driving, like, don't close your eyes. Make sure you're parked safely. But that's how it started. And the more I did the mirror exercise, the easier it became. So by the time I began to feel good not using the notebook anymore, and I would just use it when I really needed to, when I really wanted to go back to basics and just go back to, if I was, for example, really stuck on a block, then I would get my notebook out again. But otherwise, I would just take God with me whatever I was doing. God is my best friend, and I don't need to be without my creator in any moment. It's and I know like some people might have blocks with using the word God, but I mean, you can use whatever word works for you, like source, your creator, the universe, whatever it is, this divine power who is running through your veins, who gives you life. This is, with this, God is in everything. So you can never be without, you can never be alone. And that is what made a huge difference for me in my spiritual work, was that if I felt stuck on a mirror exercise, on a block, I would just say, you know, I would go to God and say, please partner with me on this. Please do it with me. And I'd get out my laptop and just do it on that. Or if I love taking walks in the forest and doing my spiritual work, just conversing with God, just going deeper in my blogs, soul searching, whatever it is, just doing it with God. Yeah.
Perfect. Always doing with God. And it can be that easy. It can always be that easy if you choose it to be. I will always remember that phrase, Sama, just let it be easy. It will always be burned into my brain, into my heart, and everything. So that's perfect because that kind of already answered the next question I was going to ask you, which is mere exercise methodology. Like, how do you usually do that? So thank you for already answering that. That was brilliant. And so the last question I wanted to ask you before we open it up to viewers is, how did you find Jeff and Shaleia's work? Like, what led you here and to enroll in the classes? And I know you kind of shared a little bit there too, but if you can like define kind of
Mm-hmm.
a few key moments of what happened to get you there, and could you walk us through that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I where shall I begin? So I started when I was pretty much on a spiritual journey throughout my most of my life. I remember being exposed to spirituality, but so throughout my life, I would get dreams where I would be um, in a in a spiritual class, and I this whole energy that we're in now in TFAS, I used to have dreams about it, and so I knew that it was coming. I just didn't know where from. I didn't know how. And when I was here, it took me a long time to realize this was it. Um, but when I became very conscious of the journey that I was on, I started, scouring YouTube. And amongst so many fear-based teachings, I found Jeff and Shaleia, who were like this diamond in the sea of yuck. And I was thirsty for what they had to say, for like what I mean, it doesn't take a genius to listen to their videos and see that, these people know what they're talking about. They're speaking truth, right?
Yeah.
They everything they are saying is empowering you and not taking power away from you. Everything they are saying is guiding you to yourself. It's not about them, and they always highlight this in all their teachings, is that this is about you and you. This is about you and your relationship to yourself. This is about you and your relationship to the divine. And what they did with their teachings was empower me. And so I was thirsty for every new video that came out. I was like on it immediately. And so when they came out with their classes, I I wanted to get right on, but there were financial blocks, and there were um, you know, the whole block about, I if I want to, be self-made, I can't ask for support. I can't ask for help. And then when I realized that this is okay, because this is we all hear the term, we are one with, all one consciousness, and this is what this is. To be one, you've got to hold each other's hands and come together and love each other, rather than separating yourselves and like everyone's like, tunnel vision, me for myself, I'm gonna get to the top, I'm gonna do this on my own. You don't need to do that. And that's what I love about this, is that we're all holding hands together, and the more we do, the more people join. And it's like everyone is a leader within themselves. Everyone is empowered within themselves, and it's not like some pyramid where we're all kind of like, you know, following,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. We're not
Right.
follow we're following God, right? And that led us to each other.
Mm. Beautiful. I love that. So we do have quite a bit more time here. If anyone would like to share any questions that they have for Sama. Because I know there are people viewing that have read the book and know Sama's story that she shared in the book. And so, I don't know, maybe there might be a question or two about her journey. Can you share a little bit about what you do for your, because I know this has allowed you to, so you met your twin flame in yoga. So now you teach yoga
Acro
and
yoga, yeah.
acro yoga, even better. That's so cool. And you do meditations, correct? You have
Yeah.
can you tell me about your class that you do?
Sure. So I actually run a live spiritual class and a meditation class, which is on Sundays. And I the intention behind this was that people would come in and we'd all be in this one space together and set an intention for this meditation. And usually it's like a harmonious union. And well, yeah, it's always harmonious union. And we just sit and meditate, and it's on, on Zoom, so it's a kind of conference setting. But I always love guiding these because even though I'm the one guiding and I'm not really getting as deep into the meditation as the others who are participating, I always receive the exact same healing. And so many people have
Yeah.
just like messaged me after the meditation, like, oh my gosh, while we're doing this, I don't know, my twin contacted me, and oh my gosh, I had a vision of this, and so many miracles have happened during these, and um, it's always so beautiful to hear about these because it's all God who's doing it. It's not, you know, um, I'm not doing this myself. I'm just allowing it to come through me.
Perfect. That's God. Giving and receiving
Mhm.
while you're giving appropriately, properly,
Yeah.
abundantly. That's God. We have been
Mhm.
living in this world where we've been giving and not really receiving much because of blocks and not being in alignment with God. So that's what this all is. Like Sama's is describing alignment with God, proper giving and receiving, alignment with your union, proper giving and receiving in your union, right? Masculine, feminine energies in balance. Even your life purpose. She's describing your life purpose, which is also a very intimate, which we discussed last week on our interview with Elle, a very intimate piece of this journey as well. Working with your LP and serving God, giving to Him through consciousness, like pff, huge. And I am just absolutely in love with what you said earlier about how you realize that giving to your inner child is actually just like giving to God, and you're just giving to the God within you. Like that was kind of mind blowing for me because I've never heard that before. And so, like in our union, we're learning how to give to a person, right? Like God as a person, which is basically what you were sharing before, and what I've been learning from you on your journey is really discovering that. Even when it comes to like romantic love with God, which is kind of an interest, and the reason why I say it like that is because so many people don't see God that way, and they're like, He's the Father though, and they don't understand seeing Him as an individual there. So I actually this is coming up right now because I really think it needs to be said. Can you share a little bit about that? Because I think people need to be walked
Mhm.
through that.
Absolutely. I mean, Jeff talks about this really, covered this really well in the classes, but like for people who are not in the classes, um, so many people have this, as you said, Stephanie, this father viewpoint on God, that God is the divine father. And then there are the others who see God as the divine mother. Um, but if broaden that to see that God has a relationship with you everywhere. It's not just father and mother, it's, best friend, teacher, guru, money, in your finances, in the area of your finances. If you're blocked financially, you're blocked from God there. And that's an area where God is desiring to have a relationship with you, where the divine is trying to come through. And so that's another area. The family relationships, that's another area where God is desiring a relationship with you. Another area is the area of your food, what you eat, your body, your health, just the beauty that you see in the world. All of this is God, right? All of this is your creator. All of this is source. You wouldn't be able to perceive it if you weren't seeing God. And so many people are seeing this, like seeing a beautiful view of nature that just makes your jaw drop. That's God, right?
Yeah.
You maybe weren't referring to it as God, but that is what it is. That's what you've been seeing, because innately you are designed to be able to perceive God, to be able to perceive divine. And that was the shift for me in seeing that my ultimate lover is not my twin flame, it's God. But God comes through my twin flame to love me. And that was the breaking point, in that it was always God. And there are so many, ascended masters and spiritual teachers throughout the ages of Rumi, I'm getting so Yogananda, all of these have been pointing to this. There are so many other poets, like Persian poets especially, because I've in Persian culture, so I've been surrounded by this from childhood. But when I was having these breakthroughs, all of these were coming back in that, that's what they were pointing to, that it was always God. That it was always, this whole journey has been about, every upset, everything that was not going right in my life was pointing me to a place that was showing me an illusion that is to be uprooted so that I can claim what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not about, life sucks, I'm going to accept that life just happens and I'm designed, these are the cards that I've been dealt. No, you're only upset because you're about to get what's on the other side if you look within and claim that peace within yourself, right?
Amen. Yeah, that's big. Can you say that again for everybody?
I don't remember what I said.
You're only upset because you're gonna.
Right.
Do
Yeah,
you want to
so
say?
like, yeah, sure. So your natural state is not to be upset, right? If you're upset all the time, it's just pointing to illusion. If you've, you know, an area of your life is upsetting to you, it's pointing to a part of the illusion that is about to be uprooted, that is about to be removed so that you can transcend that and receive the love on the other side of it. And that's the only reason it upsets you, because it's supposed to trigger this. It's supposed to trigger you to look within. Otherwise, what's the purpose of it upsetting you? We were created to be loved. We weren't created to suffer. The suffering is, they're just like unconscious patterns that we're playing out within ourselves, and they come from, I don't know, incarnations of this fear-based separation consciousness, and they play out because, it's time for them to be uprooted.
Yeah.
And we can do that.
And that's what some people start to run into as they do this spiritual work, is they'll have a moment of just, the peace and the joy after healing a block or two. And then all of a sudden, some of these really big blocks, they start having access to these core blocks that start manifesting in their life, and they think, I'm going backwards. Like, this sucks. What am I doing wrong? And that's the moment. So what Sama's saying is, keep going. That's not meant to make you suffer. There's something beautiful on the other side, right?
Yeah, and I just want to talk about this because this has been a major realization for me, is that, the things that happen, the experiences that you have in your life that it feels like you've been kind of had the rug pulled from under you and you're just falling flat on your face. They're designed to bring you into a state of surrender. What can you do but give it to God in those points? it you will continue to manifest these things until you can control there, until you can just give it to God.
Yeah.
And they weren't meant to be prevented. There's no point in beating yourself up and getting stuck in the vicious cycle of what if I had done this differently? What if I had done that differently? What if I could have, I don't know, made a different choice here? You can just release all of that. It came up because that was an unconscious pattern, and it came up so that you can heal it now so that you don't make the same choice again.
Amen.
You don't need to prevent it. You can just be, everything you need is right now in this moment. Everything that's happened has been perfect for you.
Stunning. I just need like a moment to like pause and absorb that because that was really powerful. So thank you, Sama. Sama's such a great speaker, and she's actually a coach for Twin Flames Universe. So if you'd love to work with her and you want to subscribe to Twin Flames Universe, to the Twin Flame Ascension School classes or Life Purpose classes, and you're looking for a coach and you feel like Sama is a good match for you, go ahead and request her on twinflamesuniverse.com/free-consultations. And on the form, it says, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us? Say, I'd like to request Sama Amlashi. And you could also request any other coach, or you could leave it blank and let our divine channel match you with the perfect coach as well. There's so much. So we're trying to show you here that one, the classes work, and they're brilliant and just like innumerably valuable, abundantly valuable. Like they actually don't really have a value that I could put a number on. Two, that you're completely supported through this whole journey. And if you subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, also Sama she also read classes and coaching and things. So you're supported. What are you waiting for? Why not? Why can't you experience the same breakthroughs that Sama has in her journey? Why can't you come into union like Sama has? You can. You just have to claim the support. Do exactly like Sama said. It's time to let go of these false illusions that you have to do it alone. It's time to accept your support and let it be easy. So thank you so much, Sama. Does anyone have a question or two? Want to give a little love or a lot to Sama today? So before we kind of log off, if you want to know anything, I don't know, then it's just like burning on your heart or your mind. Yes, claim the support. I love all the conversation that's coming up because of this, Sama. There's a lot of people really talking about their experiences on the live feed. For those of you in the replay later on that can't see that, that's what's happening that we're looking at right now. I'm not really getting any questions, so I'll ask you my question that I ask everybody.
Awesome.
Because why not? What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. It depends. Like, I just love I love lime green. I love so many different greens. Green is like my color. Yeah, that's why green. But yeah,
Heart chakra
I
makes
love
sense.
green. Ah, yes, yeah, you're right.
Very good.
What's your
You know,
favorite color?
my favorite color is it used to be green actually in high school, but now it's red. Makes sense because I'm like healing so much around rooting and commitment too, I guess, but like, you know, home, things like that, being grounded into the earth. So red. But I remember in color psychotherapy, or not maybe not psychotherapy, but color therapy, they talk about how green is very calming. You know, everything has vibrations, and that's the reason why people like to go on vacations into green places. Blues and greens, like water and rolling hills, is actually to soak up God there, from what you said.
Ah,
Soak up a little bit of green, soak up some
nice.
heart chakra, some earth love, right? God in the physical matter, for healing. And so many people do this unconsciously without even realizing you're doing it. So many people. So perfect. That's your favorite color.
Awesome. Yeah,
Well,
I have like themes of like the color changes, like whatever I'm healing, I guess, as well. So
makes
yeah.
sense. Makes sense. We usually tend to to reach for the things that bring us comfort. So it's really interesting. I love that. So with that being said, let me check. Everyone's agreeing that green is great. I'm not really seeing any other questions, and I am so satisfied with today's interview. It was beautiful and amazing. Thank you, Sama, for joining us so much. I really appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Stephanie, for hosting this.
You're welcome. No
Huge
problem.
contribution to this, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for appreciating me. I appreciate that. So thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate you all too. Appreciation all around. Like Oprah, you get appreciation. You get appreciation. And see you in the forum. See you next time.